Donald, baby, Donald Trump. You know,
Oh, I
doing his
took
thing.
50% out. Oh, wait, I need to shake out the morning stress. Today, I take a
You're
50%
short.
out of the pump or the previous loan that I had for a long, long time. And I'm basically almost out of the trade. I'm having the feeling that that we could be going toppy, although I will be waiting for breakout retest. What are you
Big squeeze
doing
coming.
today? What?
I'm short, man. I'm
You're
short.
short.
I think. I
Nice.
think we squeezing, man. We about to
Nice.
squeeze this market, right? Teach everybody a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
Don't
Let's
get
do
over
it.
leveraged, right?
Yeah. So how was your morning? Wait. How was your weekend?
Weekend was good, man. Yeah, busy, busy, busy. Went golfing, Mother's Day, spent time with my wife, uh, hung out with my son, did a lot of went for a walk outdoors, all that stuff. So yeah, really good, man. Really good weekend. How about you?
My weekend was pretty cool. I did some maintenance in the house, installed some lights on my roof, and then did some cleaning. I'm still in the middle of the remodeling. Now it's a nightmare because they're in the kitchen, and man, not having a clean place to cook, that is driving me crazy. But other than that, I have been a lot out. I mean, we asked for like DoorDash and stuff like that. But it was a pretty cool weekend. I mean, at the end of it all, it was like 40°C around here, 43°C, right? And then Saturday,
Ooh,
we have a very big storm hitting us here. And then that cooled down the heat. So that was pretty chilly. I stood away from trading, by the way. And then Sunday, I just did a quick overview, took some profits out of my trade, and I'm almost out of that entry. But other than that, man, I'm doing fantastic. Doing fantastic. Great weekend.
that's good, man. That's good.
Thank you.
Yeah, Bitcoin's very volatile right now, so I'd be very careful because it's trying to I think it's trying to squeeze everybody, right?
Yep.
So it's hide. That's awesome though. You got to so you're getting your kitchen fixed? No
Yeah.
cooking?
No cooking.
It's
Dude.
because you're an architect and you want the round corners and everything, right?
Dude, I'm having a taste of my own medicine. Yeah, man. So, like, there's a little bit of a mess. We started with panels, right? You know that, and then since this is an old house, older house, right? Electrical cabling needed to feed my needs because we are running high power computers. Now we have enough power to power up an electric vehicle. We're looking to getting an electric vehicle, and also we want to do mining. So we needed to fix the electrical. Other than that, that would have been maybe a huge bonfire very soon. So now that we're into it, MJ went, why don't we just go for it and do the kitchen? And I was like, yeah, why not? And I know now why not. I mean, it's just too much of a mess, man. One thing at a time, please. But yeah. I mean, I do have a place to cook, but all of my silverware plates and stuff like that, in fact, I like 1, 2, 3 yards away from me right now, over there, right? So it's not like it's a mess. It's a huge mess. But yeah, other than that,
Too
doing
good.
fantastic. Doing fantastic. So you're short, right? Let me show you my trade. And I want to look over a couple of other coins because we've, man, the S coin had a beautiful pump up and then a drawback down. So, but let's get started with Bitcoin here. Basically, yesterday, Sunday, we were somewhere around here. If I'm not, this is, yeah, Sunday, perfect, yep. And this is somewhere where I start taking some profits, all right? Why did I start taking some profits? This is looking toppy to me. Not only that, let's zoom out, right? We've been talking about this huge megaphone, and man, now that we're up here, remember when we were failing this support and I was like pulling my hair out, and then I was like, all right, and we need a plan, and I did a double entry here, triple entry, then pull back up, get it out, then relaunched. I mean, that was a freakishly tense but amazing. It was like a video game, man. But I mean, now looking back, guys, let's not forget how stressed this area was. Let's not forget the euphoria that we had in here, right? And then what happened? Ooh, volatile. Oh no, jump back in, guys. I promise we're not gonna dump it. Boom, we dump, right? Hey, don't worry. No, I was just kidding. Come back in and boom, right? So just a little bit piece of advice. Not financial advice, but look at this trend line that we have had for months already. This one here, all right? So I know this, like, it looks kind of old, but right now, is it playing out? Seems like it. All right, maybe needs a little bit of fixing, but remember, we did this trend line with this amount of information, right? In fact, we start making it with this high, and then we fix it with this other high, and then we adjust it with this other high, right? So once again, when we see the pivot playing out, which is going to be already too late, all right, we're going to be fixing that one. But, well, very close here, we have this median line, all right? Let's now zoom in, so which means we are on resistance. Let me just get that out of the, there we go, out of the view for now. And look at how high are we, guys. So, and we already have a big body candle breaking through, right? This actually just played out like right now. So what are we having? Well, then we're having a loss of a support. What kind of support? Usually we have this trend line, this micro trend line. It's not about your breakout. Look at my next target. Why? And I need to tell you guys that I usually measure the full movement, right? I measure the full movement and look for half of this for a retracement. But this amazing trading next to me got me to change my perspective, and now I also look at a third of that retracement, right? So look at where my trend line, sorry, my, not trend line, come on, how do you call this, alert, is at, right? 1/3 of the full movement, basically looking for something to bounce out of that zone-ish. I mean, I could actually be looking for something higher. In fact, I already run my calculations. This is going to be my next area for re-entry. If we bounce in here, which I believe we're going to be bouncing, but that's going to be a very short bounce, something like this, if you will, right? Like this bounce to create a bearish day. We're not going to be making a bearish day just because the price is not moving upwards. But I believe that it's going to be a little bounce like in here and then fall back down. So I believe that we're going to be doing this. Still, we need to wait for that to happen. Where do I have some supports? Look at that. If I start just doing automation, so just letting chart prime do its thing, look at that. It's not about your breakout, it's about your retest. So this is again an area of entry. You see how different perspectives start aligning, right? So look at that. My perspective, my spaghetti in chart prime's calculation, right? Another thing that I can show you here is that we are getting into, come on, stop doing that to me. We are getting into a smart money area. How do I do this? There we go. Smart money area right here. So what would that mean? It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. Again, waiting for that retest. Let's bring chunky candles in here with us. And what is the breakout? The breakout is a trend line. Whereas your retest at support, all right? So, sorry, you bounce and then you retest at resistance, all right? So I'm going to be trying to long this from here, from somewhere around 100K back to somewhere around 104. And then if the luck is with me, we're going to be looking at the median. And look at the median is this line in here, but look at that also, that median coexists very closely with this other support line, right? What is that support line? Right here, let me clean this up. There we go. Look at this. This is it. And just so you know, today, a couple of minutes ago, I just changed this. Why? Because this line was like that. it was like this. All right. So that means that we could be having a supporting here, but if we start taking into account this other low, yeah, at this point, yeah, this could be a fake out, fine. But now I would say that let's do it. There we go. We can actually get 3 points out of this trend line. Look at that. 1, 2, 3 almost perfect points. Let's actually fix that for it to be perfect. Nice. So look at where is it coinciding. Very close to my next area of most important zone. All right, most important confluence, sorry. Not only that, I do have the median. Not only that, I also have right here a huge area of ranging. So if I start turning things on, well then where is everything coexisting? Somewhere around 98,963. I mean, give or take, all right? Give or take, somewhere around those areas. So something, guys, that I do see a couple of new members here. Do not, we are recording it, recording this session, but do not go and actually measure the prices in here, right? That is not convenient. Why? Because I am on Bitstamp. If you're trading on BitGet, if you're trading on Bybit, if you're trading on Bluffing, well then the price, it's absolutely going to be different, all right? What are you looking for? Just go into Bluffing, do the same, turn on your VPVR, do your trend line like this, all right? Turn on your support and resistances. Look at that. Look for those two, all right? And then what else you do? Well, then you maybe start looking for other stuff like your predictive ranges. Look at your previous weekly high and then your golden predictive range. That's it. Wherever everything is coinciding on your broker, which means here on TradingView, the name of your broker, and make sure it is on, if you're using leverage, it needs to be on perpetual. Like, there we go. Tether US perpetual contracts Binance, for example, right? Then you just do exactly the same thing. Look for that confluence. Here it is. And as you can see, these lines are a little bit more spread out. That's fine. That's going to be my next possible target. And you just look for that price, 96,592, right? So that's how you translate what we're doing here to your own broker, right? Just so you are on the safer spectrum of trading. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Something that I was talking about, it was right now in the 15 minutes. Oh, let's go first for the 4 hours. Oh, come on. Here it is that we are on a predictive range. I'm not sure of this, but if I go to the 15 minutes or even 5 minutes, I could be looking for the breakout retest on this area. Look at that. We're almost there with our oscillator. All right. We are having some absorption zones, and I could be aiming for, again, 1/2 or 1/3 of the full movement. So for me, that will be somewhere between here and here. For then long this all the way up here, and then a continuation downwards. So I am a little hesitant to take this short. That is because of the 4 hour. I think they could be moving very quickly. It could be just getting me in here. I rather wait and see what the price is going to be doing. If I start losing this area, then right here, that's where I look for the breakout retest. Or if I reclaim this area, this is where I start shorting it. So not taking the long right now. Mostly just waiting for a short setup at this point. So that's what I got. Alex, let me throw it back to you. What are you looking at the charts, and what do you think about my analysis?
You are spot on. I mean, so you've taken profits on your long, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. Right now, Bitcoin, we had a very, I would say, manipulated weekend. Just trying to, wreck everybody. That's kind of what typically happens on the weekend. That's why I typically don't trade them, right? Roll over here, Donald Trump speaking. I'm currently long right now, off the low here. We'll see if we do push up. I'm about to hit TP1. Remember, this is short-term time trading, right? So stop loss to entry, TP1 hit, looking for continuation out up into the orb, open range breakout up here. And we did go over how to set up your orb, but I am long from here. Just peak seeker, bullish divergence, short-term time frames, right? A lot different than here's our orb. So I set it up now, so I have it for you guys. I don't need this here. TP1 just hit. Okay. I guess I should share it. So just in here, TP1 hit. I'm gonna go stop loss to entry. Just now, 160 or 110 realized in the long right now. Looking for this to continue up. Just a little bit of a retracement trade. Okay, so it's not looking for a home run here. Not looking, all-time highs. None of that. I do think we are going down. It's just a matter of I can trade, in between everything, right? So, I take a long here, stop loss to entry. This thing can run, If it runs, great. If it doesn't run, I made $100, right? A lot of the time, that's what I'll do, especially when, I am expecting down, but we are in a bull run, right? We are pushing up. So for me, I can try, bullish divergence at a key level. So I had a key order block down here, bullish divergence. Donald Trump spoke, little retracement, pop up. Okay, so I can justify getting long here, stop loss below the low, right? A little scalp trade, and peak seeker, exhaustion, bullish divergence. It's all here, right? So I could take this trade, and even if it comes back down, that's fine. I'm taking profits quickly along the way, just looking to pay myself. But this can turn into a nice trade, right? Like if we zoom out, like we always should, let's go on the 1 hour. We can see like this weekend was heavily manipulated. I mean, the weekend really started right here, and just breakout, fake out, breakout, fake out, breakout, fake out. That's all it was. So if I go into like here, and we just look at this, right? It's always good to just zoom out. So the main liquidity, right? This is Friday liquidity. So we have liquidity in here, Friday liquidity. So we've come down and taken that right now, right? So it's very important to understand that this is weekend liquidity. This is a whole different animal, right? This is, this isn't, massive BlackRock trading. This is whatever, exchanges dumping on your heads, whatever it is, right? It's very highly manipulated, right? So what do we have? Like, I mean, all you need to do is trade the breakout, right? The trend line breakout, and we can trade these over and over and over again all weekend long. I mean, I do not trade on the weekends, but I mean, how many of them do you want? Because they're everywhere, right? So just a lot of manipulation, right? People are what's going on is that people are looking to short this thing. So we're having the bearish divergence throughout here, right? People are looking to short this. And I had friends, SFP of the high, we're going to zero. SFP of the high, we're going to zero. So they're getting short here. They're getting short here. They're getting short here. And it doesn't care, right? It doesn't care. It's like, oh yeah, it comes down, and like this is why we hate the weekend. It comes down and then it stops, bro. It just stops. And then it's just like, haha, over and over and over again. Okay, so very manipulated weekend. Now, if we're using our brains and our indicators, right? We always want to use our brains and our indicators. Good combo. Okay, so it's the best combo is your brain first, then your indicators. So you can see that we are in a discount level of the range. Okay, if we're using our predictive ranges, we can zoom in more if you'd like, but overall, this would be the median of the range within here. So we don't want to trade in here. We want to buy low, sell high, right? That is going to be our goal. So you can see we're bouncing off a discount right now, even though we are in a downtrend, okay? Very important. So I'm not looking to take this trade to Valhalla. I'm looking to take this trade maybe to a retest, continuation, right? I'm looking for this trade, not this trade. this can turn into this trade, but I'm not looking for that necessarily, right? The shorts are the ones that we are looking to come down, okay? And we do have a lot of key areas that I am looking for us to come down to. Now, what's important we understand is when we zoom out, we have some key areas and what we're looking for on this chart. So first and foremost, we need to recognize, okay? Make sure you recognize that this is a massive weekly candle, okay? So Monday, we always like to check the weekly candle. This is huge. Huge, as Donald Trump would say, okay? Huge with a Y, okay? Now, any sort of retracement after a massive candle like this, I typically look for halfway down the candle, okay? So if we go halfway down the candle, we go here to here, we can see that's the 0.5, that's 99,160, okay? Now, what else do we have in here? We have volume, right? So the volume suggests that we have a nice little shelf of volume within here. So for me right now, if this, then that, okay? So 99 or 101, I would say 101.7 is one of my key areas here. So you guys know I like my support and resistance with volume. Okay, so I always mark out the key areas in red. So 101.8 right here, I have marked out in red. Looking for that to hold, okay? That would mean that we're range bound within this area in here. So you see this node in here, right? There's a node in here. Let's change this to just green so it's easy for you guys to see. But you can see we have this node in here where price has been oscillating before all-time highs. So if this then that, we treat it like a range, right? We can range bound trade this thing. So anything down low here, we're looking to buy. Anything up here, we're looking to sell. Would have paid us quite nicely over the weekend, right? And just trying to trade within the range. If we are to lose that range, then we look elsewhere, right? So where are we looking elsewhere? Well, we can see that since pushing up, we have that retest of previous highs. So 98,000 should be on everybody's radar. 98,000, okay? And the psychological 100,000, right? Don't make it too hard on yourself, but that's psychologically, that's going to be a level that the bulls are going to try to defend, okay? And you can see that we do have quite a bit of volume in that area as well, okay? That's going to be that area there, right? So looking to defend that psychological level. However, the thing is that we are very, very overextended, okay? So that's something else we need to understand, is that even though we are overextended, this thing continues to push. Now, Bitcoin, the behavior of Bitcoin is very important, right? Bitcoin will chop down a lot of the time, and then it will fly, okay? This is why we love it, right? So let's look at some examples, right? We can see it'll chop down, chop, 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 chop. Then look how short the pump is, right? Up only, okay? Now, sometimes it'll take the elevator down, but it will still chop before going up. Chop, 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 boom, boom, okay? So understanding that, that's why they say you got to be in the market for those 10 days with Bitcoin, because it does this shit, right? And this shit. That's crazy. Okay, so we're prepared for that by, buying low and selling high. That's why I'm long right now, and, up a couple $100, and that's cool. This could keep going because the trend is our friend, right? The trend is our friend until the end. Now, when we look at this also, I always like to look at the 4-hour dynamic reactor and see where it's at. That's always going to give me a bias, okay? So look how far away we are from this thing. It's miles away, right? It's at 96,000. 12-hour maybe? Not even close, right? So we have to go on like an hourly to even get close to this thing, right? So that just tells us how extended we are. But the cool thing is with the dynamic reactor is that it can line up with some pretty cool levels with like order blocks and support and resistance. So you can see that we have order blocks all the way through here. Something I love trading, so I can turn this off and you can see all of my key levels. which I will share with you guys over in the chat there. But you can see that, you know, we have all the way down, up only, but we create a lot of order blocks and areas where we can look for the longs, right? So for me, it's all about understanding that we want to see it drop, break in structure, and continue, right? So we're looking for this all the way down. All the way down, okay? What we're looking for as a trader is we're looking for a sweep of the lows. And now as a scalper, I was able to get in here, right? It's a very different trade, right? But you're looking for a sweep of the lows, a retest, and continuation. What were you saying, OC?
Sorry, I just coughed.
Oh, okay. So we're looking for this all the way down. But we want to take this at key levels. That's the thing that I really try to stress, is that you don't want to be taking this trade where you don't have confluence, okay? That's why we use our order blocks, our dynamic reactor for confluence, to give us confidence that this is an area where the trade can possibly bounce, right? Right now, what are we doing? We're sweeping the lows, right? So to me, this looks like it's going to come down a little bit more. Like I said, I'm still looking for this thing to roll over. So sweep of the lows, reclaim, break of structure, off we go. Now, the safe trade in this, right, and how I teach it, is you're waiting for this thing to confirm market structure to the upside. So you're going to have to wait a little bit longer in this sense. So what are we looking for now? We're looking for this high to be broken. So push up, breaking of the high, the retest, and go. And that's where we're looking to get long if we're going off confirmation. Okay? That's what we're looking for. That would be the A+. But we haven't got that yet. I've gotten long here. I've taken profits already. And, you know, it looks like it might come against me. It might not. But who cares? I'm in profits, stop loss at entry. That's a way I trade as a scalper. It's very different than how you would trade for, you know, looking for that bigger trade, right? Confirmation is going to be king. So when you get into confirmation, right, here's your confirmation kind of trade, right? So you look in here, you have an uptrend, right? You have a sweep of the lows, right? So you come down, you got your double bottom, your retest, your continuation trade. That's your continuation trade. What is it? It's retesting previous highs in here, right? Little order block in here. So that's your continuation trade right there. Or you're taking it off of the confirmation of the mitigation of this high. So you're getting long off of this high being broken. Okay, so that's your changing character, right? And your long goes here. Stop loss below the low, and you're looking for a continuation. Okay, different ways of taking the trade, but same idea, right? Same idea. You're waiting for the structure to confirm your direction, right? And then you trade with the trend. Now, being overextended for shorts, what we are looking for now is we're looking for retracements and continuations down. So retest of previous lows. Down you go, right? And so on and so forth. Or just break of structure like we have right here, continuation down, right? So retest, continuation. For now, we had Donald Trump speaking this morning. Obviously, China and all that stuff, and whatever, right? Whatever. I don't think we're going to let Donald Trump run the world, but he typically tries to. So, you know, we didn't take a trade this morning. We suggested multiple shorts. The key this morning, what gave us the tell, was that we took this high on that pump. Okay, that was the hey, we're going down, right there. That was suggesting that we could roll over, and being so overextended and understanding where we were in relation to price action, meaning we are very, very overextended here. Here's our liquidity before the weekend started. So these guys, whoever's leverage long, they don't want leverage longs to survive. Always think about that. People are long here, but these are like people just getting in this, you know. They want to squeeze them as hard as they can, with any opportunity they can. So if it's a news event, whatever, they will take the opportunity to flush the market, to get out leverage trades, and then they'll send it in the direction that they want to. Okay? Because when they send it down, it's going to be quick. Okay, it's going to be really quick and really fast. So be prepared for that. Now, another thing we should cover is we should look at the NASDAQ has pushed up really well. The SPY has reclaimed that level that I was talking to you guys about last week, coming up in here, getting above 57,777. All right. Big push here, reclaiming this range. Okay, so we were talking about this range, reclaiming this. If it can hold, great. If it's an SFP and it dumps, we're in trouble. Okay, so but a very nice push, to say the least. Total 3. So altcoins, all you altcoin fanboys or whatever it is. Remember, inverse head and shoulders, we said. We wanted to see the retest continuation close above the high. What are we doing now? Closing above the high. So this is very good news. Getting above that $900 billion mark is very good for total 3. And we look for the rotation from Bitcoin into altcoins. And we can see that in Bitcoin dominance right now. Okay, so we can see lots of room to down, right? But this is a retest of previous highs so far. So for me, I would like to see a close below into this range, below these lows here. That's going to be my line in the sand right now, is I want to see a close to get, relatively bullish on alts. I want to see it close below here. Okay, I'm going to put a horizontal here and put it in an alert. And that's really going to help me be patient with altcoins. But for now, I am expecting a little bit of a squeeze for Bitcoin, meaning a squeeze down, not a short squeeze, a long squeeze. Not massive, but enough, right? Just enough. Also, others. So others dominance is excluding the top 10 cryptos. We have reclaimed our buns, okay? So we were trading below our buns here. We are back within our hot dog zone, baby. This is where we want to be, okay? Can we get above and flip? That's cool. But right now, the important thing is we're back above this 8% here, okay? So that's good, a good sign. Look at this beautiful balloon llama that's going to print right now, and then it's going to go to the moon. So these are all good things in the market, okay? We do have CME gaps below us, so be aware of that. Okay, so being prepared is very important. We closed this one here, but we do have this one down in here that wasn't fully closed. So, I mean, doesn't mean we have to come back for it. Yeah, we could come back for it in bear market times, but just be aware of all these things around, the market. Ethereum, flying, big rotation, right? Big rotation into ETH. We look at our Bitcoin pairs. ETH has made Bitcoin has made a higher high now, so this is a good sign for ETH, right? Mitigating this high in here. That's very important for ETH. So a lot of good signs, okay? That's just, as people who want to invest, we don't want to buy the top. We want to buy here, guys. We want to buy here, wherever it is, right? We don't want to buy yet. Don't be FOMOing into altcoins right now, in my opinion. You're going to end up buying tops, okay? So be prepared for that. So yeah, nice bounce here for Bitcoin. We'll see if it does want to continue to push back up or if it wants to come down and squeeze some more. We do have a lot of data coming out this weekend, or this week, sorry. We got inflation tomorrow and some other things, but be prepared for volatility. There, OC had half the morning off. You're muted.
Oh, muted. Sorry for that. I mean, absolutely. That was an amazing setup. Especially since I had to finish my coffee. That was a very nice one. So I want to talk about a couple other things. Just like Alex mentioned, right? Guys, do not let the FOMO control your trading situation, right? For example, right here, what happened here? I don't know if you can tell what asset is this, but this is Ethereum, Remember hashtag F Ethereum, right? F. Oh, what the hell? Come on, Ethereum. So I mean, and this is the 4 hours, man. What the F with Ethereum, right? It moved, it pumped really, really hard. Look at that. It's not about the breakout, it's about your retest. Off we go. So looking for a possible retracement on Ethereum right here at 2,308. Again, do not FOMO in. We want to see that retracement. We want to see the breakout. We want to see a flip of the ribbon. And that's when we start looking and waiting for that dynamic reactor to start playing out his cards, right? So also, if we create a pennant, that will be amazing. Try to buy below or at the bottom of that pennant and maybe just try to trade the inside. This is a speculation. The pennant is a speculation, but most likely it's going to happen something like a bull flag, like a bullish pennant, or even a double top like in here before going back downwards. All right. So there's a couple of assets that have been playing very, very aggressively. In between those, Weave, Form, and Caspa XRP. Well, then we know that's our favorite coin in this channel, right? No, just kidding. But it's been playing out very, very good, by the way. So let's take a look at Weaving here, because also, where is it? Let's do Binance, and then on Binance coin, let's do Weave. Right, Weave. I know it's a meme coin. I did an analysis earlier today. We are already going back down on the possible area of re-entry. We're kind of making a goose head. Be careful here if you're going to be jumping into this kind of movements. I would recommend at this point, not financial advice, but somewhere, or limit your entry at somewhere around 1/4 of an entry, or 1/4 of an entry, right? We're going to be applying the same structure here. So measuring the full movement, looking at the center point, and also looking at a third of that movement. Not only that, that's when we start turning on our indicators. And if you start looking in what we got there, well, we have a possible area of smart money entry right there. If we look at, we have right here a predictive range golden line. If we take a look at where the older golden line is at, all the way up here, and also we have our WR1 from our breakout retest on Mother's Milk to act as a support. All right, previous resistance becomes new support. So I would say that I will be venturing. I know the risk that I'm taking, especially now with Bitcoin that volatile. All right. And based on that, I'm going to be trying to catch some small movements or big risk in the markets. All right. So I want to see this bounce. And again, I want to jump in somewhere around here for maybe a lower high. I'm not looking to go to Valhalla. All right. I'm not looking for this to continue the same way that it continued here. All right. No. What I'm trying to see here, it is, look at that. Let me just invert this for a second. All right. What would it look like if I, not logarithmic, invert the scale. What would that look like if I also bring this little hint with you? Wyckoff from Binance Academy, right? Remember this schematic in here? So we're coming down, we have a little range, we have a V-shaped recovery. Then the next high, it's not higher than the previous range. That gives us 70% chances of ranging. Now remember that this is an inverted chart. So what am I having here? Coming down, little, let me just get rid of this. All right, little range in here, all right. V-shaped recovery, and what I'm looking for, it is a high not higher than this zone, somewhere around here, that will give me 70% chances of ranging. I will also define lower range, higher range, and inner range. If I click this and do on inversion, well then how would that look like? Like either a range or a huge pennant. So once again, the part that I'm trying to catch, it is going to be either from here to here or from here to here. So basically that will be something that I will be looking for, especially on Weave that we are forming that bullish flag. My first try, it's going to be, again, let's do the box from all the way here. So at the center, and if I measure the whole thing at 1/3, right there. Remember where my golden lines are. So basically, this is gonna be my first try right here, somewhere around 102. All right, just so you know, 102, 106, between those two areas. And what I'm gonna be looking for is just basically price action coming in and then retracing. So I'm gonna be taking a 1/4 of an entry right there and trying just to bounce it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I see that maybe we have a question here. Hey, Digital, what's up, brother? Welcome. Did you see this? Perhaps you could show people quickly. I'm sure you're looking for it already. Let me see. I did not tip. If anyone is new, if they could, if the cloud on the Oscillator Pro is touching the red or green bar, it can be confluence things near to the top. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. Why not? So there's your Prime Oscillator Pro. All right. You also have your Prime Oscillator Plus. In the settings, you have the bands. All right. We call them the clouds. The programmers call them the bands. That's just semantics. All right. One thing that we look for those, it is kind of like a reverse, or it's a squeeze momentum sort of like, all right? When you have the verge in here or the coexisting with bands, they usually can act as a support or as a resistance. But also, when you are on the green, that usually means that the next upcoming movement should be bullish. But there's some caveat here. What is the caveat here? The compression of the cloud. Look at how thick that cloud is here. Look at how thick that cloud is here. Look at how thick the cloud is here. Look at how thick the cloud is here. And look at how thick the cloud is here. As you can see, if you start comparing it, it starts getting thinner. All right, thinner and thinner and thinner. Let's go and let's take a look at when we have a very compressed. There we go. We have a very compressed cloud. All right, let me mark this. And let's look for the price action. So what happens after we have compression of that cloud, right? We have just a little bit of that further continuation, right? Sweep of the lows, break of the trend line. Which trend line? This trend line. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, and off we go with a big movement to the upside. Why? Because this compression usually it's just like shaking a pop, right? Or a soda can. Oh, see, I mean the green and red bars at the top of the cloud. Oh, got it. I'll explain that in a second. Got it. But still, look at those compressions, right? So what is happening right now? We are compressing. So let's take a look at that. We are starting to compress, all right? So what would that mean? It's maybe further move to the upside before a reversal. Remember that this can also reopen, all right? So it's not that this is a confirmed breakout until we get into a threshold of compression. Digital was mentioning the bars at the top and the bars at the bottom. All right. Something else that I want to show you is on the visibility. Sorry, on the style. Under the style, go all the way down and you'll see 0 line. Make sure it's on 0. On mine, it's in white. And I also turn on bullish control with green, negative 95, and bearish control red with positive 95. All right. That creates these dashed lines. And that negative for the bullish, it is because we have a bar in here. This is kind of like a power bar. This is actually an extreme overbought and oversold zone. In this case, since we are at the bottom, oversold, and it's green because you're looking to buy somewhere around those areas. You buy on the way down as we're topping out, and then you sell on the way up, all right, as we're topping out. Let's take a look at what happened in that price action zone. Right here, you buy right there. All right. Further move to the downside slightly to your support, all right, and then you sell up here with a flip of the ribbon. Right there, your flip of the ribbon. So basically, you buy in here and then you sell on profits. Slight on profits, right? Slightly bit on profits. There's a little bit more into it. And by the way, don't let it fool you. Look at that. It just was too compressed on my chart. Let me just make it smaller. Right? So if you bought in here and then you sold in here, well, then you're making this much profits, all right? Again, don't let it fool you. Remember that this is not a standalone indicator, but it's a very powerful indicator. So basically, this is an overbought area when we're getting here, and this is an oversold area. Another thing that I wanted to show you, it was the plus and minus. Let me just get rid of everything here. The plus and minus 95, which creates these dashed lines. All right, these dashed lines. They're also a threshold zone. Look at that. Usually at that zone, look at that. When we grasp it, we also bounce, right? Bounced. All right. Those are less of a powerful bounces, but still, this is the area right in here, our threshold area of overbought, and right here is our threshold area of oversold. Which means as the ribbon is going and touching this line, you need to see if we are where on resistance. Are we? Not just yet. Give it a little second. Look at that. Now we're in here. Are we? Yes, we are. So what we do, we short it, right? Until where? Till we see, again, flip of the ribbon. So we short it until we see flip of the ribbon. Not only flip of the ribbon, and also we see some big support played out. So on supports, we take profits. So TP1, TP2, and the rest was trailing. It did not trailed. So breakout retest. You see, breakout retest. Right now, are we on resistance? Yes, but we're on the way up. Do we sell? Yes, TP1, right? Comes back down. Well, then we are above. Look at that early movement to the upside, and again, topping it out. So TP2 at resistance, right? So on and so forth. You basically rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Thank you for that, Digital. Really appreciate you bring that to my attention, so to be able to explain it. So basically, that's what we got. Alex, I think you have also another session to be at. So let's cut it out
Non-stop,
here
baby.
today, guys. What? What was it?
Non-stop, man.
Non-stop.
Non-stop.
Absolutely. We'll
Always.
stop when we're dead or retired. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Alex, all yours. Your microphone for the goodbyes.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Trade safe. Monday, false move Monday could mean dump now and pump later. So let's be prepared, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye.
Guys, thank you so much for joining. And as always, see you guys tomorrow.